That's so much. Oh, hey, dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, your suet twin, and I am here with a collab. It's my first collab with Erica Conger. She is a fabulous creator here on YouTube. If you don't follow her, you should. She's a hoot. I put her link down below so you can check her out for yourself. I like her channel because she's just your typical older than average person on YouTube doing makeup. I have a warm spot in my heart for these creators because they're not following trends. They're not shoving new makeup down my gob every 5 minutes. I enjoy that. Erica doesn't just do makeup videos, but she also does a great series on murders in Oregon, which is where she's from. And I think she's got 4 or 5 of those, and they're really great because, I don't know how great it is that there's a lot of murders going on in Oregon. I don't know what's going on in Oregon, but I'm so glad that she talks about them. But she also does great videos with other YouTube creators, collabs and such. And when they do these collabs, they answer questions. And so I wanted to do a collab with Erica, and so I kind of suggested some questions, and I asked her what she thought the theme of the video would be because of that. And she said that nostalgia, you know, just casting our minds back in time to when stuff started for us here on YouTube and stuff like that. So with our collab, we are actually going to be using a fabulous palette, the Nostalgia palette from Ace Beaute. I love this palette. This is one of the very first palettes that I got when I started doing makeup on YouTube. This is the original formula. I have not had a problem with this formula ever. I'm very excited to use this. I don't use my Ace Beaute as much as I should. Now, I'm going to be sticking to this palette, but there are a couple of Ace Beaute palettes that I'm going to be adding to just for depth and stuff. I am just going to start with a fluffy brush, one of my Doe Color brushes. I'm going to start with Picnic, this lovely little pink color. Fluffy brush. Erica does one eye, and then she finishes her makeup and does the other. I'm going to be doing both. The reason for this is because I'm old and I'll forget what I use or how I did it, and I have to do it at the same time or I forget. So there you go. Now, our first question is, what was your first makeup brand that you tried? Now, the first makeup brand I ever tried really was Krylon, because as a drag queen, I needed stage makeup. And at that time, Krylon made great stage makeup. I'm not wearing Krylon right now. I'm wearing a Juvia's Place foundation just because it's lighter. But this is Krylon. This one here is Ivory. It's a nice mid-tone for your T-zone. And then I always use more than one color foundation. The other Krylon I have is 3W, and it's just a warmer tone. These two make up my skin tone, but they are very heavy, and I find if I use them a lot, I break out. They're better for stage because they last. I can sweat through them. They don't run off my face the way lighter foundations can. There's a lot of wax in them, so I prefer to save those for when it's important. If I'm just doing like a look on camera for YouTube or something, I'll stick to the Juvia's Place. And I really like their foundation. It's full coverage. I always buy it when it's on sale. I think the thing with being a drag queen is you're never really looking for a perfect skin texture because you're a drag queen. No one expects you to look real. And that's very helpful. I primed my eyes with my Juvia's Place 00. I love this. As a drag queen, I need my colors to pop, and I feel like putting on a white is the best. It just helps those true colors, especially bright colors like yellows and pinks and things to really pop. And so that's my primer. I started with, I think I tried Urban Decay. They had a primer that was very popular at the time, and it was very drying on my eyelids, and I hated it. So I stopped using it. And P. Louise at the time had just been kind of starting to make a splash, especially over here in North America. But you couldn't really buy it. You had to get it from their website or from Sephora in America, I think, sold it, but it wasn't available in Canada for long. But when I started YouTube, I was working with a drag queen from Montreal named Sia Tonight, and she, out of drag, is a construction worker, and just this little tiny bald man. And by the time she'd done her makeup, she was this gorgeous, dewy, fresh young thing. And I was like, "What are you using?" It was Jeffree Star. Now, at that time, I had never as I said, I was using stage makeup, so I didn't realize that you could get different powders for different places on the face, and concealer, and that wasn't something I used. And so I knew who Jeffree Star was as that annoying person on YouTube I didn't like, because he was always calling other people out for things. It's like, well, the world's full of choices and options. If somebody doesn't like your brand but likes another brand, that's their choice. You trashing a brand isn't going to make me change my mind if I like that brand, especially when you're a repugnant a-hole. And so I was kind of a little skeptical at Jeffree Star. And then when Sienna said, "Oh, I use Jeffree Star," I was like, all right. So I had a look at that, and I ordered some stuff. I wanted to get the Jawbreaker palette, but it was sold out at that time. And I ended up getting the Bloodlust palette, that octagon, that obnoxious velvet octagon. I never used it. The color story was stupid. I tried. I never could make a look with it. I was also at the beginning of my commercial makeup journey, so it was really not the best time to be trying that palette. I really do wish that I had been able to get the Jawbreaker. And then I was using concealers and also Jeffree Star's powders that were really finely milled. And I didn't realize that that was something you could get from any makeup line, that they could do finely milled powders, or at least different brands do it. It, so what had happened was I had ordered a few things from the Jeffree Star site. And while I was waiting for them to come in at the beginning of the cancellation of Jeffree Star, and I immediately regretted my life choices. But while I was waiting for them to arrive, I discovered Nikki Tutorials. And she was talking at that time about Juvia's Place. And they had these incredibly saturated colors and these beautiful palettes at a fraction of the cost of Jeffree Star, like a fraction of the cost. And so I immediately started ordering stuff from them instead. And that's more or less the first makeup brand I ever tried on YouTube was Jeffree Star / Juvia's Place. So now with the same brush, I'm going to go into a Carnival, which is this beautiful purple here. And question number 2 is, do I still use that brand that I started with? Well, it's a yes and a no, because I don't use Jeffree Star. I do use Krylon, but not as much. And I absolutely do use Juvia's Place, but not near as much as I wish I did. I really I do pull Juvia's Place out every once in a while. And at one point, I had every Juvia's Place palette, whether I needed it or not. I just kind of got caught up in the drama, the zeitgeist of it all. And I actually just did a decluttering at the beginning of this year. I had to get rid of some of the Juvia's Place because I never touched them. And I have friends that I was able to give them to. Just try to blend this purple. My new favorite thing is to blend purple and pink together. I don't know why, but it's one of my favorite things to do. It's going to take a big fluffy brush. I don't even know where this is from. I couldn't tell you. Just a big one, and just clean, just to get some of this blended out. So the next question is, what is my favorite makeup brand now? Well, I'm a whore for P. Louise. I'm sorry, there I said it. I'm not as big a fan of P. Louise right now because I feel like they kind of on the color pop route. They're releasing things every 5 seconds, and I wish that they would just really focus on good products. Like when I first started getting their budget boxes, I felt that they would release new products through the budget boxes, mostly to see how people like them. Because 9 times out of 10, the budget boxes weren't containing anything you could get on their website. They were usually unique to the box themselves. And then they started, everything had a lip drip kit thing with either a juice box or it just annoyed me. It was just annoying packaging. And although I do like a lip balm or a lip moisturizer, I don't need one every time I get $60 Canadian makeup box. Do you know what I mean? Like at some point, I want something different because I have this. Just because it's a new flavor doesn't mean I like it more. So that kind of pissed me off. The other company that I really love, whenever they release something, although I don't buy everything they release, but whenever they release something, I'm like, "Ooh, what's that?" Beauty Bay. Those are my two favorite, and they're both British companies. I have been introduced to a few companies since. For instance, St. Angel Sitters had my favorite palette of 2022, the Together palette, which they're re-releasing as Blessings, and that should be out soon. I really like them. Uh, I also discovered last year. It was my favorite discovery of last year was Beauty Mood Cosmetics. They are so great. Tori owns that. It's an independent British brand, and I quite enjoy them. Another company that's just started to make me go, "Oh, yeah, I see what you're doing," is Lamplight. The last few things they've released, they overkilled Halloween last year, I think, but the year before that, they released the Chucky palette, which I love. I was gifted that. I was also gifted the Scooby Doo Rutro Raggy palette, which I love. And then I also got the white palette, which has the most annoying packaging, but is a great little palette. So I'm, those are the brands that I'm kind of excited by. But my favorite's definitely P. Louise and Beauty Bay. Now, just for deeper contour, I'm going to go into the Blossoms Passion with kind of like a fluffy pencil brush. I'm going to go into Seduction, which is this very deep, earthy brown color. Just going to do my outer corner and crease with it just to kind of give it some depth. The next question is, who is my biggest brand disappointment? ColourPop. Uh, I have to say, when ColourPop first came on my radar, it was because of that uh, documentary series on Netflix. And they were talking about how this company had their own production, on-site production. And they were, as the trends were coming in, they were hitting it. And I was very impressed. Then I went to their website and I saw some of their things. The one palette that I bought from them that I did like was their going up in smoke or blowing smoke or whatever it was. It was the gray tone palette. It was gorgeous. I'm going to blend out this Seduction with my fluffy brush and that I'm actually going to blend it out with this purple flip flops. The thing that bothered me about ColourPop was that blowing smoke was never in stock. And there were a couple of palettes I really wanted to try from them, monochromatic palettes that were just not in stock ever. And it annoyed me that they weren't because ColourPop was just pooping out all these other palettes. Every 5 minutes, there was a new palette. It's like, well, why can't you take 10 minutes and put out one that actually people want and all this other crap? And it really bothered me. And then, because I'm a whore for a mystery box, I didn't have a lot of ColourPop products per se, but I thought, oh, this might be a nice opportunity to get a mystery box and try some of their stuff. This mystery box, I always say mystery boxes are a company's shelf cleaners. So if you're a fan of that company, don't buy it. Don't buy a mystery box. You probably have all the stuff you have anyway, or they're going to send you stuff that no one bought, and for a good reason. And so I against my better judgment, bought this mystery box from them, and it was awful. First of all, some of the smallest like quads, they weren't even real quads. It was like, you know how Hello Kitty does small things? It was like Hello Kitty brand makeup, like where the palettes were smaller than the size of a dime. There were four of them in there, and you know, it was just stupid. Uh, and there were a couple of them. It wasn't just one. It was like the whole range. Like clearly, no one was buying these. And then also in the same box, I got multiples of the same thing, like pencil, eyeliner pencils in brown. Who's using that? Why are you sending me three of them? And I get it. I'm not judging the people out there that would use something like that. Go ahead, get on it. I'm not using it. I'm not lucky to use it. And I feel like in some cases, I wish that some of these brands, when they do a mystery box, would give you like choice for like I prefer neutrals, or I prefer bold, or I am very fair, or I am a darker complexion, like so that they can send you at least a mystery box of usable items. And that was the problem I had with that ColourPop mystery box. It was I threw out most of it. I didn't even give some of it away. It was a true shelf cleaner. I felt like they'd literally gone into the warehouse, held the box, and just gone, didn't even care. So that was my problem. I have never bought anything since. I was sent another mystery box, I think at the beginning of this year. I have a video. I'll link it if I can find it. I can't remember. But in that mystery box, there was a few things that weren't the worst, but I think I ended up giving most of that away because it wasn't that I didn't like the products. That, again, drag queens just have different needs for makeup, and that's all it was. Okay, so now I'm going to take, this is a Docolor little angled brush. I'm just going to do my eyebrows with it. I'm going to start with the lightest color for me, which is Flower. It's a little cool tone, uh, neutral. So here's the next question. How, if at all, has my makeup changed? Color preference, application, brands. I would say one thing that's changed for me with makeup is that I actually do use a lot of shimmers and glitters now. I never used to, but I've actually started using them on my lid area. And I'm gonna use some today for sure. Uh, I've kind of overcome whatever fear I had, or it wasn't a fear. I've learned how to use them correctly, if that helps. I think when they first came out, I just was at a loss. I'm a nut girl. I like my nuts. I like it to be flat and blending and all of that. Anyway, I've learned how to make better use of those formulas. I'm still not a huge fan of multi-chromes because that shift of color under bright lights doesn't happen. If you've ever watched anyone do a swatching where there's multi-chromes and they try and show you the shift and they're contorting themselves and then they turn their lights down and then you start to see it, or they go into like a naturally lit room, not like studio lights and that, and then you see it. Like that's why a lot of those colors, as beautiful as they are, they're not great for drag. I've also embraced pink and red makeup. As you can see, I've started to use a lot of red tones. I never used to. My makeup go-to, like a classic Wilma look, is blue and green. Whether it's blue out here and green on the lid or vice versa, those were my best looks always. I just felt that It looked good. I like them. I also am drawn to blues and greens. I've also learned this is something else that has changed. I don't need the newest thing. I never did. No one does. You don't need 400 palettes. If it makes you happy, have 400 palettes, but you don't need it. For me, I got caught up in the zeitgeist of the consumerism that was really being perpetuated on YouTube with a lot of these creators slash influencers, which is exactly why I don't follow all those people anymore. I don't need to have 400 palettes. I also, I don't need every brand's neutral or every brand's blue palette. Also, I feel like there's a real sense of not just consumerism, but this having it for the sake of having it, but not using it mentality. Right now, I'm taking this neutral tone here in the corner. It is called Beach, and I'm ombreing out the front of my eyebrow because as a drag queen, I don't want a natural eyebrow line. No, I'm painting my whole face on. I'm not trying to kid anybody. Uh, I also like it when the eyebrow is faded and then somebody draws the lines, and I'm just not good at it. I'm now going into this color, hiking, and doing just the rest of the brow. I'm also keeping this color low because I want to create dimension, some weight in the eyebrow. See the dimension that causes? I love that. I just think that it just adds for more shape on the face. And going back into redemption, is that what it's called? Seduction. Pardon me, seduction. Just going to do the tail ends of these. I would say another thing that's changed for me with my makeup is that I really make an effort to use brands I have or products I have. I'm not looking to have every company's palette. Like I'm not, I certainly was with Juvia's Place. So when I get to this stage, I like to spray my eyebrows. And I have, this is Maybelline Lasting Fix. I actually will spray my face a few times. All right. So now I'm going to cut my crease and I'm going to use the P. Louise again. So the next question is foundation, brush or sponge? Both almost. I used this brush today from, I have no idea what this brush is from. It came in a set from Amazon, but it's got two different lengths of fibers here, and I used that today for my T-zone area. But I used a sponge for not just, I used a darker shade of foundation out on the edge, but I also use contour. I use the Juvia's Place shade sticks for that in deeper tones, and I used the sponge to blend that out. But brushes for foundation is a little bit new for me. And I have to be honest, the reason that I didn't use them for the longest time was because I didn't want to clean more brushes. The funny thing is, when I use Krylon, I use my hands. And the reason I use like my fingers in that, the reason is Krylon is very waxy. And it helps if you warm it up. So by putting it, using the stick and running it on my face and then doing that, it gets it right in everywhere I need it to get into. That looks good. I'll tell you, it's been a hot minute since I've had makeup on. I've been busy doing other things, and I'm not reviewing Drag Race this season because I needed a break. No, it's pretty good. So when I'm putting on my contour, that I use a brush. This is the brush I use. It's like almost like a painter's brush. It's a flat brush, and I just draw all my contour, and then I blend it out with a sponge. So that's how I do that. I'm now going to go back into the nostalgia palette, into water slide. Why is it called water slide? It's the yellow one, water slide. So the next question, what is my biggest source of makeup inspiration? Well, oh gee. Instagram. I'm just going to say as a whole, Instagram. Because the nice thing on Instagram is you can just pick, like you just makeup. You go through it all. One person that comes to mind right off the top of my head is it Jacule Frost from Australia? She is such a good makeup artist. Lucy Garland is another one that I like to watch, although she's moved into tattooing and doesn't seem to do as much makeup as she used to. I used to follow some of her tutorials specifically for cutting a crease or lips and things like that I was having problems with. And I'm going to say Matthew Anderson. Uh, I I would have to say that his work, especially when he was doing RuPaul's Face, uh, some of the best makeup I think I've seen online. Uh, the next question is: have I tried any or adopted their looks into my look? And I would say yes with that, Matthew Anderson, as I say, with the eyebrows. Uh, uh, I think I've adopted everybody. As I used to say, YouTube is my drag mother. I got a lot of original inspiration for my makeup looks from YouTube. Now I'm going to go into Vacation, which is this orange right here. Let's put it on the outside. But yeah, I would say I'm constantly adopting techniques from other people. Okay, the next question is, where do I stand on cosmetic enhancement and or surgery? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm just so poor that I can't afford it, so I poo-poo it. But if I had money, what would I get done? I would definitely, I would get Botox. My forehead, I have lines in my forehead that the makeup settles in that just is so distracting. Like I'll do a great little face on me and I look at the monitor and go, oh, she look good. And then I bring them in, oh, it's like, oh. And I've tried those face tapes that pull everything, but they don't stick on me. They fall off real fast. And I've tried everything to stick them on. Um, I also, I've never liked my mouth because it's a small mouth compared to my face. So I would definitely have done something with my upper lip. But this is the thing. I don't mind my face. I don't until I put makeup on it. But then I'm doing drag makeup. So the nice thing is that most of the things I don't like about my face, I enhance with makeup. And then I can go back to looking like a normal person. I feel like everyone that gets surgery after a certain point all start looking like they're related. Do you know what I mean? They all seem to have the same, uh, like the same kind of blank look on their face, and it scares me a little. And I prefer to see people that have individuality as opposed to a bunch of people with the same cheekbones. I've got good cheekbones. So I wouldn't necessarily do anything. I'm not a fan of drag queens that enhance their face for their drag, though, because I feel like the art of drag is to change your face with makeup. And so many people now are changing their face with surgery. And then you see them out of drag and they almost look exactly the same as when they're in drag. And I'm not judging that. If that's how you want to look, that's fine. Do what you need to do. If you've got the money and the time, knock yourself out. I am not that person. As I say, if I had money, I would definitely get like something that bothers me is my eyes underneath the skin here is crepey, and so it makes it hard to put makeup on. But I only hate that skin when I'm putting makeup on it, not daily. I don't wash my face and go, ooh. I have hooded eyes and they're sagging now. I'm 57 though. I think I look pretty good for 57. I think I look better than for some 47-year-olds. And I would like to maybe get an eye lift, but I wouldn't. I don't need it. It's not the thing that's keeping me from living my best life. Do you know what I mean? But for some people, it does, and I get that. The next question: what makeup trending products are you already tired of? Lip oil. Lip oil. It's not a thing. Stop buying it. It's ridiculous. Okay, so now I'm going to do two different shimmers from this palette. I'm going to do Fun, which is the yellow one right here, and Heat, which is this gorgeous, yummy, pinky orange one here. The next question is, what, if any, makeup trends am I a fan of? I have to say, graphic liners. I'm so bad at them. I try, but I'm just not good. I wish I was better at graphic liners. Some people do those, they draw full thing on their face. I love that, but I can't do it. Also, as a drag queen, it's distracting to have a lot of stuff on your face because you've already overdrawn your face to begin with. So you don't need to have extra stuff going on. So happy to do this collab with Erica because one of the things that I'm trying to do this year is use up all my other palettes, which is why I'm not buying other palettes. And Ace Beaute is one of those brands. I love it every time I use it. Then months will go by and I forget it's there. I'm going to use the same brush, but I'm turning it around now, and I'm going into Heat, which is the pink tone, just on the other side. Just right here. Okay, so that was the last question. So with that said, I'm just going to finish my face off by putting on some lipstick and doing my under eyes and adding eyelashes, and then I'm going to talk about what all I did and what all's here and what all. We'll just close it up. God, I feel like I haven't done this in forever. There we go. It's amazing what a little hair and eyelashes will do for a look, isn't it? I want to thank my secret admirer who sent me this fabulous wig. It's a Wig Chapel wig for Valentine's Day. I got two. They're both gray tone. This one has a lavender tone in it, which I just love. I don't know what it is about gray wigs for me. Maybe it's because I'm 57 and see the light. I don't know what it is, but I've been really getting into them lately. Normally, thanks to Denise, I wear ginger toned wigs, and that's because she a ginger. But as for this look, this is, of course, the Nostalgia palette. I did dip into Smoky Roses for the glittery black, and I did dip into the Blossom Passion for Seduction, that deeper brown, just for a little depth. Didn't really need them, but I did dip into them. As far as for the rest of my look goes, my eyeliner, this is the one eyeliner that I seem to keep coming back to again and again. I've been having a lot of trouble with eyeliner, and I think what it is for me is eyeliner pens aren't really great for drag makeup because they get gummed up, and halfway through, I lose any coverage. This is Black Radiance. This product line is available in drugstores in Canada anyway. This eyeliner I've had maybe a year. It cost me $4. I don't even know if I'm near the end of it or not. I can't tell, but every time I dip into it, I still have eyeliner to use. I love it. I used my P. Louise Just Roll With It contour palette. Clearly, I don't like this palette, but I used it just for my contour, just to make sure I got cheekbones. And on top of that, I also used the P. Louise. This is a blush palette that I got in a budget box 100 years ago. But these two tones here, sorry, this one and this one, are what I use on my cheeks just to give them dimension. I also, this is my favorite highlighter palette, Gourmand Girls Bold and Brilliant. And I am panning this. I am almost out of the silver, the pink, clearly, and the gold. This is the gold. This is the pink. This is the silver. They're almost all gone. So I am going to be looking to replace that very shortly. My secret weapon, I've been using this forever, is the Be Perfect Gel Get Wet. This is a great little cream to powder formula. I get all of this glitter. I also use it for my inner corner. It's just like glitter, glitter, glitter on, look, it's just so bright. I love it. I love it. And I just like to pat it on. Don't put too much because it can make you look sweaty because it's glittery. It makes it glistening. But I did that. I also used a bunch of lipsticks. I think the pink in the middle is a MAC Breathing Fire. And the outside is, I think, Unearthly Cosmetics, a deeper toned one just for shade. But I also went on top of it with Heat and Fun. Yeah, Heat and Fun. These are what I used on my lid. And I just take a little on my finger. I do this all the time with lipstick because I don't like lip gloss, but you just pat it on. You get this nice little shim. It's one of the ways that I use shimmers and palettes that I might not normally use. I like to put them on the lip just to add some dimension. I want to thank Erica Conger for wanting to do a collab with me. I think that I bugged her. I think I told her I wanted to collab with her, but she didn't fight me, and I'm very happy that she didn't. So I want to thank her for collabing with me, taking the time to answer these 11 questions. I have a link for her down below in my description box. I also have timestamps for each question. So if you liked any of the questions, you have answers of your own, add them down below. Leave a message with your answer to any or all of the questions. Let me know what your makeup journey has been like since you started, whether you started as a child just raiding your mother's makeup bag, or it's a more recent thing that you've gotten into. Let me know how it's changed and evolved, and what you think of maybe the brands I use. Maybe you have suggestions of brands that you like, or maybe you have had fails or successes with some brands. Let me know. I'd like to hear from you. Find out how you play with your makeup. And I think that for now, woo, I'm loving myself in this wig. I feel like I could go to church in this wig, or the Grand Ole Opry. I feel like this is like Jesus hair. But yeah, I just wanted to do something fun and flirty, and this was it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, well, that's okay. You're allowed to not like it. But definitely leave a message down below, one way or the other. Let me know how your week's going. Let me know, I don't know, anything, good, bad, or ugly. Let me know down below. Those are the best ways to help support this channel. But if you want to support this channel a little more, of course, you can leave a tip or do with the YouTube thanks button, which is just below in the screen. Or you can use my OG PayPal link in the description box below. There's also a link to my Redbubble store where you can get some Wilma merch. And there's a link to my Patreon group, which is where the Fingerdoo family meet twice a month for chats when I remember to post them correctly. But other than that, I hope that you have a great week. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and until next time, miss me. Mwah. Seriously. Whoosh. Feeling it. He's feeling it. It's going to. So, are you so about it? And diligent. Your close go. To be a coming out. Listen. It's going to. It's edited.